That was amazing, Onye. The question, like you've asked, why would Bishop Nkea lie? We're not going to analyze the lie because it is now clear that Bishop Nkea lied. My concern, if Barrister Fru and Barrister Team want to talk elaborately, they're free to. My question is, I want to find out why would a supposed clergy choose to be so diabolic in his speech intentionally? Barrister Fru, I begin with you.
Yes, Paddy. Why would he lie? And I will tell you. Bishop Nkea and Funky Samuel Foba, they are on the payroll of La République du Cameroon. Each bishop gets £1,000,000 a month. The archbishop gets £2,000,000 a month. And the cardinal, the only cardinal who lived, would have been having £3,000,000 a month from the state. It's the only country in the world that pays bishops from their from public money. Number two, Nkea contracted with La République du Cameroon to convince our fighters to go to DDR. I cannot tell you how much that was the worth of that contract, but I know that he was each where he went, he tried to get the boys to lay down their arms and go to DDR. Number three, when he was being consecrated as the Archbishop of Metropolitan Cathedral in Bamenda, Paul Biya sent him a brand new Pajero. You remember that when Archbishop Tumi was being made a cardinal, Biya sent him a Mercedes car, which he refused. We all know that. This is a man here living and pretending to be the Archbishop of Bamenda, which is the epicenter of the war, the war against La République du Cameroon on the southern Cameroons. His Christians are being killed every day. His Christians are being kidnapped every day. This is the same man who will stand publicly in Bamenda, in that cathedral, and call people to go and register to vote, when he knows that the southern Cameroons and Bazonia was restored in 2017, and the population knows that they do not have to vote. They should not vote for La République du Cameroon. But Nkea has become the campaign chairman of Mr. Biya and his CPDM cohort in the Cathedral of Bamenda, in the metropolitan jurisdiction of the Catholic Church in Bamenda. So anything that concerns La République du Cameroon, he would take the other side and try to speak, tell lies. Look, he thought, how could he be lying so publicly when he was not the only one in that or what the so-called Grand National monologue? Because in Ndive, the lawyer, the British lawyer was there. He had just told us that there was no Southwest position. I am not by any means saying that Mukete did not say what he said. He said it as a CPDM militant, a senator, and a politician under the CPDM, a member of the CPDM, member of the Central Committee. He was given the position of his party. But you cannot take that and say that the whole Southwest, the Southwest is made of how many divisions? So many. So Mukete became the spokesman for the Southwest, so that Nkea takes that as a gospel, and now he's propagating it all over the place. This I don't know whether this man is a man of God. He must be the son of the Satan, Lucifer. Because a man of God should stay clear of politics and shepherd the sheep during a difficult period like the one the Amazonian people are going through. The war, the killings, the extrajudicial killings, the number of killings that have taken place in Bamenda, the number of killings that have taken place in his own division, Lidialem. Why would he take such a public, disgraceful position? And campaigning for La Republique de Cameroon, but people should go and register to vote. Who the hell is he? Is he a politician or God, a man of God? Somebody should tell him that he's a man of God and he's not a politician. And what kind of man of God is he? He has lost everything, every respect that they gave him as a man of God in Mante. When he was a bishop in Mante, he was a man of God. He was respected by everybody, and he spoke the truth in Mante. When he came to Bamenda, he got corrupted, and now he is part of the regime. Instead of shepherding his sheep, which are Christians of the metropolitan jurisdiction of Bamenda, he takes the position of the CPDM. He takes the position of politician talking about elections. Go and register to vote. We will put big man. This. Who the hell is this? Is this the man of God we knew as a bishop in Murphy? Is this the same one? Andrew Nkea?
Okay, that reaction there was quite intense and emotional. By Mbeseha, please.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And this is my take about it. I don't want to deal with this idea of payment, bishops being on the payroll of the, the government. They could, but Andrew is not the only bishop. They're on the payroll of the government. If bishops were being paid and they were taking the position of government because they are paid, we all know that Cardinal Tumi was a bishop in Yagua, in Garuwa, and then died in Douala. We know how outspoken he was until his death. He never took the side of government in that way. In spite of the fact that he was being paid, I don't know. He didn't do that. We have seen the position of Archbishop Cleda of Douala, who, if they are being paid, is one of them. The position he takes, especially as far as this Anglophone crisis is concerned, is not the same like Andrew. He's against the government. He talks openly about it. So I don't believe that is because of payment of bishops or not being paid or being on the payroll. There's something else that is with Andrew, who happens to be my own person. I think his position is a position of, he has been given a position as the Archbishop of Bamenda, which is the ecclesiastical province of 5 different dioceses. One in Mamfe, one in Bamenda, one in Kumbo, one in Kumba, one in Buya. He's a very young man by the relative terms. So he gets that position because he's the archbishop. But he doesn't have the wisdom of having that position. Worst of all, he doesn't even have the political wisdom, talk less of the historical context from which he operates. He does not know. He absolutely does not know. If you knew it, for example, I'm just quoting him. He tells us that the bishops of his diocesan area, that is the 5 bishops, before the Grand National Dialogue, had sent a position paper. They wanted a federation of 2 states. We don't like it, but that's what they wanted. He went there as a representative of the archdiocese to put their political position, not their religious position, to put out their political position. We want a 2-state federation. He got there. An old grandfather to him, Mokete, more than 100 years old, made a statement and changed the whole mind of Andrew. Where did he consult with the other 4 bishops who had sent him as their delegate? He didn't consult them. That's why I say he lacks the wisdom of leadership. He forgot, he didn't know that what Mokete was saying was in an opening statement. Opening statement, people make what they want to say. They are not the decisions. And so the bishop, Andrew, just lacked the wisdom or the understanding of the political facts. If he understood the political facts, which he did not, if he had the wisdom, which he doesn't, he would have realized that he succeeded Archbishop Isua Fontem. You see Bamunda there. Isua Fontem is from the Southwest. He was the Archbishop of Bamunda. He retired before Andrew got there. And what was his position until he retired? I mean, even till today, I talked to him not long ago. His position, he told the government, this thing called country is not one and indivisible. He told them publicly, if there's any Cameroon, it is thanks to the wisdom of the Northwest, Southwest, you call it, the Anglophones. If he was being paid, if his ancestor is true, why was he saying this? Just to show that this young man doesn't have the wisdom politically to do anything. He doesn't know it politically. And again, I've said this before. He's from the Southwest. He came to Bamenda from Mamfe, still what they call Southwest today. But among his bishops, they are not homogeneous, but among the five bishops that he has there in this ecclesiastical province, there's Bishop Nkea, who is in Banso, who had never been to Banso until he became the bishop. He has spent all his spiritual life as a priest in the Southwest. The Southwest then didn't have in Mamfe, they didn't even have Kumba as dioceses. He was the education secretary of the Catholic Church, the Catholic Diocese of Buea, which covered Mamfe, Kumba, and Buea. He went to every single village there as an education secretary. So he knows the people of the Southwest. He knows what they stand for. From the village level, because I went to primary school, I had the cases with him. So this guy has more wisdom, more understanding of the history than Andrew does. A case in point, see what happened in Garabo. One of the most important reports we had about Garabo was written from the bishop's house in Banso, the Bishop George Nkea. And so I think it is total lack of wisdom. He doesn't even have the political experience that he has. And then he meets this Opa without analyzing currently, in fact, what Mbeseha is correct, without even knowing what it is. He jumps into politics without his left and right, without understanding what he's talking about. The Grand National Dialogue, where he attended, and other political organizations that are going on now, these things are very, very different from the meetings the bishop and the archbishop attends in the Vatican. They are not religious occasions. They are political occasions. And if you don't understand the politics, if you don't have the muscles, you won't be able to understand it. But he has been dealing all along with superficial things. Just because he occupies the position of an archbishop, he thinks that he has some political opinion. If he were ever to be like Cardinal Tume, let him conduct a private survey in his archdiocese of Bamenda and see how many of his own Christians will disagree with what he says politically. Cardinal Tume was from Bansa, and his first test of his position was that most of Anglophones, 67 or so, want full separation. These Anglophones included people in the Northwest and South, as he calls it. Again, Cardinal Tume, a man from Bansa, says most Anglophones in the next survey, they tried to twist it. It didn't work. That is the position of the people of the Northwest and Southwest that constitute the Archdiocese of Bamenda, which includes the Diocese of Banso, Kumbo, the Diocese of Bamenda, the Diocese of Mamfe, the Diocese of Kumba, and the Diocese of Buea. Unfortunately, I can say this, Andrew has gotten to the level of Archbishop, yes, congratulations for that. But he never had the opportunity that the other priests who have become archbishops had. Josh Nkea told you was a priest, he went to everywhere in the Southwest. Bishop Fontem, who became the Archbishop of Bamenda, was the parish priest. He traveled all those places. There was only one diocese there. There was nothing like even one in Bamenda. So he did know the people. Uh, Andrew was ordained priest in the 1990s in my own house. He had never been a parish priest. He stayed in the office, the bishop secretary. So he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
probably know even the thinking of the people in the village.
Yeah.
From staying in the office as bishop secretary, he was nominated to become Bishop of Manfe. He has become the Archbishop of Bamenda. He doesn't know, I can say this passionately. He doesn't know how the ordinary guy, the ordinary Christian in Dop, the ordinary Christian
Yeah.
in Idabito, the ordinary Catholic Christian in Akwaya, he doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
how they feel, at least politically. And so again, it's challenge to him. I don't think he's doing this out of wickedness. He's just doing this out of total ignorance. Because again, he says people should go and vote.
Oh,
He says
God.
people should go. Let me learn. He says people should go and vote. For
God.
him, people of the Northwest or his ecclesiastical probably going to vote is a solution. The Anglophone
Yeah.
problem, they call it, is not the problem of elections. It's
Yeah.
not the problem of who occupies it to the palace. So going to vote 99% is not going to solve the problem. Our problem is beyond the president who occupies a Tudy. And until they can, he and everything like him, can orientate their mind to understand the problem, to me, and we all agree here, we don't care who occupies it to the palace. It means nothing to us.
Yeah.
What is important to us is our problem be addressed. We didn't put a hijo there. All it
Yeah.
only was to be done. We didn't put a hijo there. But he did us harm. His successor has done us more harm. Even we disagree with Mr. Nifrundi, who wanted to go to Etudi with the same doctrine he said.
Yeah.
So it is not our problem, Anglophones, Ambazonians, it's not elections into Etudi. It's not elections into the National Assembly. It's not elections into the Senate. It is more than that. It is back to what retired Archbishop Fontem Eswa said. There will be no Cameroon today without the free will of Ambazonians. It is divisible
That's amazing.
and
That's quite
it is divisible
the
and
both of you
divided. What do you?
both of you
Paddy.
have elaborately explained
Now,
and agreed on the on two very
we have
pertinent
not
issues.
agreed on anything. We have not agreed on
Okay.
anything. I
On
like to,
one
but
aspect, just a
Well, I
moment,
hope it's
please.
not a debate between two of us. It's a
let me
debate
let
between
me
I'll,
speak.
people.
Let me speak.
I'll give you,
Let
I'll
me
give you the
speak.
chance to speak. I'll give you the chance to speak. Let me coordinate it. On one side, we agree that Nkea was partly ignorant. On the other side, there are those who share the sentiment, like by Stafro, that he was not just being ignorant, he was being intentionally corruptive. You could trace that from his electioneering into now lying about. He's trying to paint a picture, and this is what I want us to talk about because this has been the instrument of La République du Cameroon. He's trying to paint the picture that we, the people of the Southern Cameroons, are not united. You know, the rise of Sisiko to power and Sako to power has made them generally uncomfortable because it's been strategic. They don't believe that the people of Southern Cameroons can can formidably stand together under such forms of leaderships, transformative leaderships. They have always tried to divide to conquer us, and they keep telling us. So, in my opinion, I think this is Joseph Nkea playing the bidding of Yaoundé in their effort to divide us by telling us we are divided. It's conclusively and very briefly, Barrister Fro, I know you want to react to that. This, for those who feel that this is an instrument of divide and conquer, what would you have to say precisely in that regard, Barrister Fru?
Yeah, let me disagree with my senior colleague. Nkea is not speaking out of ignorance. Nkea is occupying the post of Archbishop of the Metropolitan Jurisdiction of Bamenda, which includes all the bishops of Ambazonia. He took over from a venerable, very important, very knowledgeable Archbishop Cornelius Iswa. I agree with my colleague that the position taken by the Bishop Emeritus Iswa. When Kia was in Manfe, can you also tell me that he was inexperienced while in Manfe when the war was raging? And the position he took, and he spoke truth to power in Manfe. Truth to power in Manfe. What has changed? His experience immediately evaporated when he got to Bamenda. His hands were soiled as soon as he received all the gifts and all the goodies coming from La Republique de Cameroon when he was being consecrated the Archbishop of Bamenda. And since then, he has been compromised. He takes the position of La Republique de Cameroon all the time. You want to tell me that Nkea did not receive a brand new Pajero from there? The same thing that Bishop, Kadatumi refused a Mercedes from there. You want to tell me that Nkea is not preaching and going after our fighters to go to DDR? Ask the common man on Bamenda Street, they will tell you. I cannot sit here and support the fact that Nkea is inexperienced and so on. How did the Vatican make him an archbishop? From the works, from what they saw in him in Manfe as a junior bishop. It wasn't because he was older than every other bishop that was. And I want to tell you, the position of Nkea is not shared by all the bishops. Each bishop, according to the canon laws, is in charge of his own jurisdiction. Nkea is the Archbishop of Metropolitan Bamenda, which includes all the bishops in Ambazonia, but he cannot dictate to the bishop of Kumbu or Boya or Kumba or Manfe or wherever. Nkea he knows what he's doing. He's campaigning for the government of La Republique de Cameroon. He's campaigning for elections for on behalf of the Republic of Cameroon. Is that inexperience? You call that inexperience? I don't know. I'm not a Catholic, but I grew up in a Catholic setting. I went to the Catholic secondary school. I know exactly how the Catholic Church operates. And let me tell you, I cannot accept the fact that Nkea is inexperienced. No, that position can only be taken by people who adore him. I will not.
Yeah, when we see Nkea traveling abroad under the mandate of the government to try to speak to and convince activists, Nkea has clearly taken a position, which I do not also think that position is necessarily out of ignorance. But what I really would like us to focus in conclusion to this before we move into the Muki debacle in Yaoundé, I want us to look at Cameroon's consistency on trying to fractionize us, the people of Southern Cameroons. There's an article I wrote about it. I call it the Northwest Southwest dichotomy, its origin and its objectives. This is a playbook. Nkea is acting from the playbook of this strategy to fractionize and weaken us as a people. And there are lots of Ambazonians who share these same sentiments that Bishop Nkea, the main objective of his utterances and most of the things he has done was he was not the only one that was using this strategy. We're going to get into Mbelamuki shortly, who is also a champion and a CPDM loyalist of this strategy, trying to create some form of a superiority complex on behalf of the people of what they call the Southeast. Where the Southwest came from, only God knows. So, by Stambasia, um, I know you're in the house and there's some distraction. I would like you to talk on this theme for those who share this sentiment that Archbishop Nkea is just trying to foster the divide and conquer strategy of La République du Cameroon. And that will be our conclusion of this segment of the conversation. Please, by Sambesi, speak to us.
Well, I think, are you getting me?
Yeah, I can hear you very loud and
Are
clear.
you getting me?
Yeah, very loud.
I think, I think when we come here, let us have this straight. When we come here, it is not because I must agree with you or disagree with you. We come here to express public opinion for our followers to form, to get informed opinion. So I'm not bound. But are you still getting me? I'm seeing some frozen thing. Are you still getting me?
Yes, I'm still getting you.
Are you still getting me? Are you still
Yes, I
getting
can
me?
hear you. Yes, I can hear you by
Yeah, so
Sambesi.
I'm not bound to.
I can hear you.
Pastor
I
so
can
is
hear
not
you
bound.
clearly. I
Yeah,
can hear you
Pastor so is not
clearly.
bound. Pastor so is not bound to agree with what I say. No, no, no. I'm just expressing an opinion. And I don't think he has even said
But
anything different from
you
what I
did
say.
say that it was my opinion that they're
Let,
being paid,
let
and
me
it was a
say my
public. It was public. It was published
please, let's,
that the bishops of
well, let,
Cameroon are receiving money from the state.
Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah, by
published.
well,
staff. Let him speak.
I thought this was my segment. It's not a debate between two of us. Sir. It's a debate for us to
Then
enlighten the
make
people.
it not.
Don't tell me what to say, please. Unless I'll get out of here. Let me say my opinion. What you thought I didn't stop you. I had answered that question. I said it is payment. Then how do you account for the bishop, the behavior of Cardinal Tumi, who is supposed to have been paid by you, as you claim? Cleda, from Temeswa, it will also been paid. I think that answers your question. If you have the evidence that they are paid, I'm not concerned with that. But I was addressing the issue, what is said about the Grand National Dialogue. That while Singer comes in. And I thought I answered that question, unless you didn't follow me. When,
Yeah, follow.
according to Andrew himself, when he went to the Grand National Dialogue, his archdiocese, those are the five dioceses are taking a position. And he went there as a delegate. My question I asked is, when he changed his opinion there as a delegate sent by his five dioceses, did he consult with them? He didn't consult with them. Was that maturity? Certainly not. Maybe my own language is so different that I so
Yeah,
finds it difficult to
by
understand me.
By
So,
Stambesia,
so,
maybe
so,
by
so
Stambesia, by Stambesia,
going
I'll give
forward
you the
on
by Stambesia, that could just probably because of corruptiveness. When people get corrupt, they don't work based on protocols. I don't think it is
Exactly.
necessary.
Exactly.
All right. By Stambesia, continue, please.
well, you're forcing me, you're trying to force me to use your word corrupt, which
Okay,
I'm
I
not
get it.
going to use it.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not bound to use your own words to express my
Yeah, I
opinion
understand.
about what people do. Corruption, in the sense of the word corruption, legally has a lot of meaning. But you can make your point without using that corrosive word. If all the bishops are being paid, it is therefore corruption, which I don't know where they're paid anyway. So again, I'm pleading with you, Paddy. Don't force your words into my mouth. When I have a segment for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, let me make my point. Don't disagree with me personally. Disagree with my idea and bring counter ideas. And so that said, I explained a million times that even Andrew as Archbishop, he doesn't have the experience of the Bishop of Kumbo. He was also a bishop. And I've said the position of the five bishops of Bamenda Archdiocese is not homogeneous. And I challenged Bishop Andrew, his own diocese of Bamenda. Let him conduct a private survey there among his own Christians and see how many of them agree with his political position. So that is my point. You don't need to like it, but that is my point.
Yeah, I think you're not
People,
wrong with your point.
so
You're not.
let us move on. Let us move on. Again, I plead with you. Don't intercept when I'm making my own 3 minutes 2 minute segment. They don't need to be what you want. But let the people who are following up absorb these things, digest it the way you want. There might be a million people. I don't say in their minds. You don't say in their minds. People digest what we say and come out with their own information, their own informed decisions. What you and me say here is not the one that is not a thing that will force people to go and vote or not to go and vote. What Andrew says is not what thing that will force people to go and vote. Andrew was in Bamunda. They have been preaching voting. Why do people not vote in Bamunda? Why did all the Catholic Christians turn and go and vote? Why did you not do it? They didn't go to vote. It's part of the preaching of their bishop. And so that's the point. We're dealing with our own brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers. These are adults. They are old people with families. They understand this in some time more than we do. Again, the experience from which retired Cornelius Isua came. Cornelius Isua lived in the 1961. He retired. In the 1961, he was an adult. So he knows the story better. That's why he tells you they will know Cameroon without Anglophone wishes. I'm sure probably he voted in 1961. This is an archbishop retired. Is that what I should be disagreeing with you and me? Certainly not. Let us take it. If I'm wrong, fine. So be it. Let us move to the next segment. Let people digest what we say.
Mr.
And what do you
Mbeseha,
think?
I think nobody is wrong with their opinion. I just think, like you've rightfully said, it's about phrasing, and you see, people have different ways of approaching it. There are those who feel that Archbishop Nkea um, is being diabolic in the way he goes about it, and I think what you have said in legal language is also correct. His political positioning could be based on ignorance. And this brings us again to the manipulation, because what the people hear, how they hear, is a strategy of war. When you have a man, a clergy that is trusted by a lot of followers, thousands and possibly millions of people in the Cameroons, come up to make certain statements which are not necessarily bad statements, it becomes really unfortunate.